Okay, so this is my main screen, of course, and we're here to view and show you how this whole screen works to help you make some really cool music. So right here we have this little icon right there. That is the icon for the main screen. So I tap this main screen there, we get to go back here to menu. Main screen gets you to menu just as fast as the menu button does. I prefer to tap here because we're doing an instructional video. I can do it from right there so much easier. Now next to main screen we have here, this is the project title. I'd like to make a title rather than have it untitled for this project. So before we start, I'm going to hit the icon for the main screen. I'll come here where it says save, and I want to select project. I'll come to here. Now you'll notice here at the bottom it says file name, untitled. I want to change that name. I'll call it capital T-E-S-T, test, space. I'll go with a capital here, P-R-O-J-E-C-T. Didn't get that J-E-C-T, there we go. Now I'll press do it. And now that's the name of the project. I want to save it somewhere though, right? So here I have MPC documents. I'm going to select this. Come on, there you go. And now I want to scroll down to projects. Right there's projects. I want to save this inside of there. So before I do, I got to open it up. And now it's open. You can tell by the top of the screen here where it says save, and you see this folder with the arrow pointing up. This is internal. It's saving to the MPC documents folder, which is this folder right here, and then to the projects folder. Now what I need to do next is press save. And are you sure I want to overwrite the one that's already in there? Overwrite that sucker. It's overwritten. Now when I press main screen again, the project name appears right there. Bars, beat, tick, right? And this is based on our 2 bars, start, first bar, and second bar. So if I press start, play start, you see the metronome going by right here. 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4. And so that tells us where we are in the current position inside our sequence. So I can also come to here, we'll say, right, this is bars. I'll turn my data wheel. I can go to 4 bars. You'll see a change here, start first. Here it says 4, the end, right? And so we're starting from the top again, and I'll just press play start. 2, 3, 4, 3, 4, stop. So we can increase the bars here. We see the start time. I can change the start. I can change the end. Because once you see this red border appear around any of these parameters, you have the ability to change them. Now, next thing I want to show you here is the time correction. This is time correction right here, and this deals with the ability for the machine to record something at a specific time division. And what that has to do, so far we heard quarter notes. Those clicks are quarter note, right? So if I went 1/8 notes, those clicks would be faster. Let's explain this like that way. I'm going to go to here. I'm going to go to metronome real quick here. And this metronome is set to quarter note. Let's try to go to 1/8 note. There's 1/8 notes right there. I'll close it out. I'll press play start. Those are 1/8 notes. It's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 3, 2, 3, 4, 4, 2, 3, 4, stop. Pretty simple stuff, right? Suppose I go to here, and I turn that to 16th notes. It's like this. We go to here, close this out. pretty fast. A lot of crap going on there, obviously. But the whole thing I'm explaining to you is that that's 16th notes. And when this says 16th notes, that means all those clicks you heard are spaces where you can actually place a beat. And so, between the first beat and the second beat, there are 4 spaces. Between the second and the third, there are 4 spaces. So in one measure, there are 16 possible spaces to place the beat. Pretty simple. That's what time correction does here. So here in time correction, I can go to 32, I can do that. I can do 16-note triplets right here, right? And that means triplets. I can do quarter note triplets, eighth note triplets, 16th note, 32nd. By just pressing that button there, you'll see the T appear in the back of them right there. And by bars, well, hey, ain't no such thing as triplet bars, right? Because a bar is one length of one bar. But this is based on time division. So, for example, I go to eighth notes here, and I can say, okay, I'm going to be in eighth notes. I don't want to be triplets. And so whatever I hit in the pad, the most I can play at any one point in time are eighth notes. Tick, 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 like that, as you heard before. And that's how this works. This is the start. It starts in the beginning. The events. There's also swing value. There's shift timing. The window of opportunity to open it up, so I can go higher than this, or lower than this, or actually, the strength here goes higher. From here up. So you can see here, we can go from anywhere within the system. I have here type. And this can go from start. Now let's open this up. I'm going to push in my data wheel. And you'll see here, we can go from start, end, the length, and legato. Let's push this in again. I'll explain more of that when I sit down and go over timing correction. We actually start making beats. But you need to understand that it's there, and you have the ability to use it. Here we have all events. I'll put the data wheel in here. We have all events, selected events, and range. Move that back to here. Now here we have swing value. I can increase my swing value up to 75. And the lowest I can go is 50. That means we have some sort of swing to it. We have shift timing. I can shift the timing of this whole event of a beat or something, shift it from where it is from the natural point to a point I feel is better. I have a window here, and we have the strength. And we'll explain more of this when I actually explain how to create beats and use all these parameters, but you need to know they're here and available for you if you understand this so far. So I'm going to go back here and press close. And next you want to look at the metronome. And so you'll see that here is on and off. There's 2 parameters there for that. The level and the loudness of this metronome can be controlled by this knob here. I need to tap here first. And once I do, I can actually bring it up or down. As I can play it back, I'll press play. I'm going to change my rate. There's a rate right there. I like that rate. That's good for me. I come to here. So as I bring it up to the level I would prefer to use when recording. Now what I can also do here, let's press stop here. This says count in, right? So it's going to count in before I start recording. I can do the same thing also in play. It'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, and then start. So tick, 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 and then start. I don't want to do that. I prefer to have it in record actually. And here I can also enable it here and play as well. That means the tick will continue to play even when I'm not recording. Now here is the output here. The output is out of our main out 1 and 2. One thing about this you want to understand is that you cannot go down to a mono output. They haven't fixed that yet. That's the main problem they have actually with the metronome they're trying to fix. To make sure some guys just want to have one output for it and send it to a specific output and put it across their system in the studio. So that can't happen. So in our case, it has to be stereo, and it will always be 1 and 2 until that part has been fixed in the software. Here I can choose the sound too as well. I can press, let's see, that there, the cowbell, we have the tambourine, the shake, I prefer shaker, metro click, the clap, the sidekick 2, and the sidekick 1. The classic has always been, and probably will always be for me, this one. It's pretty annoying and I like it. Let's go to here. That's good. Now we're on the screen, you see it go by here. Our click is on. I can come to here, of course, and I get back to it and close it out. I'll press stop here. I want you to notice something now. If I want to record, you'll see this here, right here where it says arrange right there, right? That's the arrangement. We have this little circle. I'm going to press record and play start. You see that what happens here is that it's telling us the metronome has a count in. See the white in the middle? Then it starts recording. That will help you a lot. What's even helped me a lot, I come to here, I'll just tap that to play it back. And to put a stop here. Automation. And this is R for read, it's green right there, okay? So I can play it, there's no automation here. I'll tap this once, and now it's in W. And that there is the write. So I'm writing automation points inside this system, where I can automate the audio levels to go up and down when I want them to go up and down any place in a project, and other parameters as well. Just about everything can be automated. We'll cover that when we do production in a song. We come to here, this is our MIDI monitor. I can monitor the in, the out, I can clear the data. Of course, I can close it, and you'll see it happen right here under index, type, port. We have channel, note, and the detail. We'll show you more of this when we cover MIDI. So let's get out of this right here. It's good to know where it's at, though, if you are an expert and know what you're doing. You see here we have the sequence number 1. And so we have a bunch of sequence. Let's go to here, actually. I'm going to turn my data wheel. I'm going to push my data wheel in, actually. And so you see, got a lot of sequence we can have in here. I mean, it's just ridiculous. Probably more like about 128. And there's a lot of sequences, which is cool. I never use that many ever. I don't know who actually does. But you have a sequence. I can take the sequence and copy it and do certain things with the sequence. And this would be a 4-bar sequence, as you can see right there. Here I have, this is my tempo. When you hit a click, go back, and I'm playing this back, I can increase this to 120. Do some club music. No, club music is more like about 130 now. Or I can get down and get real slow and get that love song rocking the way she wants it to be. Or even slower for that really slow track. But in my case, I prefer it to be 100. Let me stop this. Now sometimes I may come to here and tap these bars and get close to it. It's fun. I can get close to them and they will actually come up if I just barely tap them. So these are the cue links on the side here, and that's why you saw that. Let's see. And see, I'm only in 8th notes. I need to correct that. So I'm going to take this like this, go back to 16th notes, do it. Now I'm going to erase something. I'm going to hold down the erase button. I can practice. Gotta record again. Now I'm going to go to, let's change this to quarter note. I'm going to put one thing in here. That one there. I'm pressing no repeat. Do it. See that? I changed the quarter note. Like atomic correction. Let's go back to 16. Do it. So what happened? By going back in and changing timing correction, I changed everything in the parameters. That's important to realize when you're making a beat. Beat over again. If I got a problem with it, I have an undo button. I'm just unchanging. Stop that. Now, as you could see when I did that, it changed in the bottom of the screen. You see down here when I undid that, it was like that, right? I can press Shift in and press Undo, and it brings back that quantized selected events, right? I can press Undo that, and it goes back to it again. So I can undo and redo. That's the beauty of using this machine, really. It's so really cool like that. You can also change this parameter right here, which is the BPM. That means that I have this 100 beats per minute. So I can also make a brand new sequence. I have to like go to here and go like that, and it's 100 as well, right? I can say I want all my sequences to always be 100. I'll come to here, tap that in, and now it says GBL. That's the global parameter to make sure every sequence is going to be 100 no matter what. If you want that. In my case, I really don't care about that. I set it 100, but if I'm going to make a project that's going to be the same BPM, I will definitely do that. Now, here we go. We have, this is here, the bars, 4 bars, start 1, end 4, pretty simple stuff. I can always just make a beat during the first 2 bars, or I might want to have the first part just play a little horn section or something. I may want to just say, I don't even want to work on bars 3 and 4. As you can see here, as this red line usually goes by, it stops here at 3, the halfway point, and it says bar 3. And from here on, I can record over this section over and over if I want to. And it's practice putting in that part here. So this sets up my loop. To play the loop, this is a loop button. If this is off, nothing loops. When this is on, it all loops. Pretty simple, right? And of course, this is my transpose button. I'm working on a project, I prefer to sort of save my data. So I will tend to go from here, I'll go to my preferences right here, and I'm looking for here. Project load, save. You'll see here, this parameter right here is enabled, only when I hit this right here. Now it will save every 5 minutes. I can change this too. Save every 10 minutes. I prefer to save every 5. When you're starting out, you might want to do 2 minutes because a lot of guys want to, oh, how's that sound? You know, you want to go back. And I do that because it's important for me to make sure I've got everything in there, and also it's going to help. So try to stick with it if you can. Okay? Now I'll go back to the main screen. I think I need to actually explain transpose. So I'm going to go to here where it says new track there at the bottom. I want to get a new track, and this new track is going to be a keyboard track, right? I want to browse for the right keyboard. This is kind of cool. I can browse for it. I'm going to scroll down here. I'm already in the expansions, as you can see right here. And so I'm looking for this. I get to here, and of course, I want to check my audition ability. I can audition sounds. That's good. Now I'll scroll down. A lot of sounds here. Okay, it's a guitar. Ooh, nice guitar. Let's load that one in. We'll press main. And now you'll see something's here, right? So let's say, for example, I gotta play a pad. I'm gonna hit my first pad. Right? Pretty cool, pretty simple stuff here. So I can add this in. I can record that too as well. Let's record something real quickly. Let's just make this a 2-bar sequence for now. Boom, 2 bars. And I can come to here. I'm going to press record and play. Metronome. That sounds terrible. It's not in the right key. So I'm just going to solo this. Press the back. I'm going to go here to transpose. Down. So you can see we can transpose any of these instrument sounds we get to get the right key. Stop that. So now I want to save the project. Press stop again. I'm going to go to save it. I'm going to go here, hit this main icon, going here to save. I want to save the project. It automatically saves everything. See that? It saves everything automatically. It's kind of cool. I go back to here. I'm back in my main screen. That's what you need to do to save your project constantly, right? And you also have the other part of the save, which is where, of course, I'm here. I'm back in the preferences, and we have our auto save as well. Go back to here, and I go back to here again. I'm back in main screen. What I'm going to look at here is the pencil tool. Tap the pencil tool, and now we're in sequence edit. I can erase the sequence, clear the sequence. I can trim the sequence. It's pretty simple. Trim, that's obvious. And I have here the transpose. We have delete bars, insert bars, half length, double the length, copy the sequence, copy the bars, and copy the events. So I'm going to close it out like that. And so these are the bars right here, right? And I can come in here and say, well, I want to, let's say you want to trim. See, it took me right back here because the trim is pretty simple. I can come here and just say, look, I cut this bar down to here. I'm trimming it down already, right? I'll play it back that way and keep that. So I can trim from right here within the sequence. I may only want to keep the first 2 bars, right? Or the last 2 bars, right? I can just keep that and edit that way. Let's go back to here. Well, also let's say clear. It's clear. Are you sure you want to clear the arrangement or clear this arrangement? I'll press A, clear it out. I don't care. I'll press play start. Nothing's going on. It's not the metronome going by itself. It's empty. It's blank. Now, if I did that, I want to press undo. There it is. Undo that clear. I'll press play start. Pretty simple stuff right there. I'll go back to my pencil tool once again. I can trim. You saw trim. I can transpose. Transpose is pretty easy to do from the front rather than doing it from here. I can do it here better than anything else. I'm going to come to here actually, and I'm going to put that back to where it should be. Here, off. Now, I go back here. Now, I can delete bars. Let's go to close this out. We'll come to here, delete bars. I can delete last 2 bars, right? I'll press do it. We're just 2 bars now. Stop that. So now what I want to do next, I might want to forget that. Undo, it's undone. We're back to 4 bars. I go to here now. That's pretty simple stuff. I can insert bars. I can come to here. Where do I want to insert bars at? Insert bars, sequence 1, before bar 4. No, after that, really. So I want to insert 1 and 2 bars. Let's say 2 bars, right? I can come to here. I want to insert 2 bars after this here too. Do it. So now I got a bunch of bars here. And you'll hear it. Now right here, I inserted 2 blank bars. Of course, I'm going to select undo. It's gone. I'll go back to my pencil tool again for the sequence edit. And so I can double the length. Let's double the length, tap it 1 time, and we got 8 bars right there, right? I'll go back to my pencil tool for a sequence edit, and I can half it up. Let's half that up there. Now we're back to 4 bars. You can see that right here, 4 bars, 1 through 4. I'll go back to this tool here again, and what I can also do here, I can copy sequence. I want to copy a sequence. I want to copy this sequence to sequence number 2. That sounds good. I'll press do it. And now we'll see that we have sequence number 2. And I go to here, right here, to where I have that track, and go leave the guitar track down to this track right here. I see tap it. Now you see it right there. The same things here. Same sounds are right there in the system. And so I will then go to sequence number 1. And we'll see the same parameters. Okay, so I can also copy bars. I come to here. I've got 4 bars. This some have 4 bars here. Sequence 1 is 4 bars. I can copy this on top of sequence 1. I'm going to do something different. I go to here. I'll select sequence number 2. And then I want to copy 2 times sequence number 2. I'll say either replace or merge. Let's go to replace. And so now, you see now, sequence number 2 is 12. Okay, do the math. You'll know it's correct. Pretty simple stuff. That's how we can use our sequence edit or sequence edit space right here to do anything we want to do. So here we see we are in sequence number 2. Remember, that's 12 bars there. So here in the next section here, this section here, this is our view of the track, right? That's track number 1. We can see that. And you'll see here, there are 4 squares there right there. And here there are 4 squares here. So this is showing us that we are in that program within the track, right? So this is the program. Name of the program is Trap Kit Default, right? So no matter what pad I hit, it keeps telling me, well, that's the program. And that program is on a track. This is obvious. If I press down my main button and hold it down, you'll see here that this is track 1. Select track. We're on this track here, the Trap Kit Default, right? If I come to here, turn my data wheel up and hold down my main button again, you'll see now we've selected the guitar string. So I've selected this guitar, steel guitar right here, and that's in track number 2. You'll see the piano icon here, and you'll see this is changed to piano icon as well. So if I come to here and press this right here, what happens is all my pads here are displayed here in the screen, right? So I can have them as notes. And you see that I can go an octave down again. It's pretty simple stuff. I can also change how we deal with these piano sounds that are on a track. I can go chromatically, or here's the deal. See that? Now I got just notes that's actually in the key. Chromatic, I can go chords. Pretty simple stuff. chords. I can go chromatic chords, progressions. That's too deep, right? Go up an octave here. Octave again. I can do progressions here. Build a custom progression if I want to as well. Gives us the ability to do so many different things. I can come here, we can see the chords, it's ballad. I'll change ballad. Let's go dance. Right? Dance chords. Let's go further down here. A lot of dance chords here, right? There's gospel, there's jazz chords. Oh, I can do something, I can go to blues even. So there's so many things, there's pop. These are just chords and chord structures right here, right? Those are chords. So you can do so many different things within your MPC with Pad Perform. Go back to main screen, hit my main screen button, and my main screen button takes me right back to here. So now, I want to explain more about what's going on here. On the bottom row I have new track. I made a new track before, you saw it already, right? This is to arm a track. If this is off, I cannot record something. So I'm going to record, I make sure I arm the track. I can go track up or down, as you can see here. This may seem like, wow, what do I do next? Just hit a sample, hit a pad, you'll know you're in this section because you already know it's into the drum program section. I can mute a track, right? Turn the entire track off and go solo for that entire track. Turn everything else off. I can go to an arrangement view, which is right here. You see the arrangement right here, right? And this is actually, happens again, sometimes it doesn't wake up for me. There you go. You can see here that these are the beats that were made up. You can see they were copied over again 2 times, right? To give us the 12 bars. And it's all right, I can go pinch up to open it up, like this too. This is my arrangement view. I can pull it up, I can squish it in, and push it up like this. This is the magnifying glass, right? I can select the section. I'm gonna select, let's see, let's go to here. I'm gonna select all those notes. That's selecting a section. I tap here, they're unselected. I can erase notes. I come here, I want to erase all these, whoops, I go to here. Oh, I need to go to here for a selector. And I want to erase those notes. Erase those notes off of there. Let me get these notes, zoom in on these notes actually. Let me zoom in, there you go. And I can erase these notes. I can come to here, erase, I erase those notes. By selecting them, I erase them. I couldn't see how to zoom them in to get that point, but you got to get used to this, of zooming in and zooming out. Let's undo that. I undid it, we're back where we started from. So I can also write notes in. There's a bunch of notes right there I won't need. I can undo that. And this is our arrangement window. And you'll see it says so here in the corner, upper left-hand corner, right there, it's arrangement. And we're in grid view. We can have a list of all the events that happen. I can play from the top, and you'll see it's going down the line here. Now as I press play here on the list, you'll see that little red, stop it again. You'll see there's a little red thing going here, a little red line. That little red marker there marks where we are, right? Now what's happening here is just going in order down the line, and we actually don't see it until we get there. That's all that really is going on there. Now see, we have this going on here too. I don't want to have this on. This should not be on there. That's good. So I go to here, I'm going to play, let's see. I want to show you something here. We have nudge value, we have delete. I can delete events. I can insert an event, like playing a part on there if I want to, if I know exactly where I want it to be. And of course, we see the pad here. We see the time, where it's at. This is from 1, right here, the next, here's 2, right? So you see that happening. These are in 16th notes, obviously. There's the velocity. They're all the same velocity here. We have the length here, because that means that I have full level on, right, for the same velocity. The length, how long it was held down for, which pad was held down for, right? And this corresponds to what the MIDI note is, these numbers here. This is the tuning, chorus tuning, right? Probability here. And of course, these are just notes and the tempos here. I can come to here, I can change my tempo when the place I want to change it to. I can insert, I can go to close this out, I can delete something if I want to, I can go to nudge a value of any product. I come to here, let's say I go to events right back here, I can nudge an events value. I can do the same thing also if I go just to grid in this view. I'm going to take this note, I'll just put a note right there. Let me just undo that, press undo. And what I want to do next actually is grab that note. So I go to select the tool first. Oops, I keep hitting right near there. I grab that note right there. And now what I want to do, I want to nudge it. So to nudge it, I can just go to here, I'm in nudge. And I can turn my data wheel. It's going over, see like that? I'm nudging in terms of my time correction. In this case, it's 16th notes, right? I'm just nudging a little bit on there. And so I can nudge any note within the grid. And it's a range view. We go follows cue links as well. I hit a cue link here, and I have parameters here. Now right now you just saw it just saved. I come to here again, track, level, playhead where the playhead's at, metronome's the third one. Here we go, now one more here, this is the metronome level. So I can play it back while in this arrange view. Turn metronome off, turn metronome on. Stop this, move my playhead, move that playhead back and forth anywhere within this sequence. Track level. Okay, let's go to track level. Let's go to play it back. Bring the track down. So I can hit a metronome. The metronome level here is on cue link 4. Let's turn it off. Turn it back on. You get the idea. You can do so much here in the arrange view that's really cool. We'll cover more of this when we start doing our arrange video. It'll be pretty long, but we're going to cover everything on how to deal with your arrange view to work out any problems or to create even better arrangement of your sequences. So here works for arrangement and for the tracks. Here's the track right here. And so let's go to arrangement here. I'm going to go to pencil tool here, and I can do this in the arrangement deal with the arrangement editor. I have clear, I can double the length of the events inside the arrangement. I can half speed the arrangement, double speed the arrangement. I can pitch, quantize. I can humanize the arrangement. We can also come to here. We can use random events, which I really don't like that. We have this split arrangement, it's pretty cool. Random is some sort of computer organized structure. We have this as convert to a progression. That's always cool. And here we have bounce to a sample. I might take the entire arrangement and bounce it out to a sample if I want to. Or I can go to here and say, okay, bounce to audio track. So I may want to keep the stuff. I don't have enough memory in my machine. I want to bounce it to a specific track and use that. So I'll make an audio track, save it there, then I'll start making more music or adding more parts inside of my MPC project. I can do all this in the arrangement view. Of course, we'll cover that in the arrangement idea, but I want to get you to understand there's a whole bunch you can do here, particularly with this humanize thing here. With the humanize, it can move the littlest thing over a little bit, the snare drum just a little bit over, and give you this human feel to it. Now, of course, doing that requires you to actually know the MPC. And to actually humanize something, I'm going to have to go back to here. I'd go to preferences right here, and I would need to know what my PPQs are, right? So let's see here. Let's find our PPQs. We have PBQs in here, and sequencer, and here we go. These are our PBQs right here. These are pulses per quarter note. So between note 1 and note 2, on the quantized value, it's 4 spaces. But when you start turning off the quantize and just flip it in there, and you want to do some stuff like J. Diller, you want to be on 96 PPQs. That's display resolution too as well. We'll go back here to the main screen, and that way you can move these little events. You can move these events slightly. I'll watch this. I go like this. Wait, let me get back to my magnifying glass. You gotta know where you are actually. And so I may want to move this a little bit, right? I'll tap that right here. Let me go back to select the tool. Now I'm gonna tap it. I'm gonna move it a little bit. A little bit. Like that, right? That's my value moving in. Now watch this. I'm gonna go back to here to main screen. I'm gonna go here and turn this off. I don't need that. I go back to main screen again. I'll tap this again. I want to zoom into that better. I go to here. I'm going to zoom in more. I want to move it again in increments. Look at that. I'm moving in small increments. Really small. You can barely tell I'm moving it. Look how many divisions I have there. That's incredible. I got to keep turning. I got to keep a whole bunch of that to get back to the top some kind of way. So I can move these events in the smallest amount and get a super cool feel for a snare drum here, a hi-hat there, the J. Diller effect. Now let's look at this idea here with the trap kit. Trap kit there, and this is in our track number 1. I will select the pencil tool, and this is our track edit. I can copy the track. I can duplicate the track. I can duplicate with the events, delete the track, merge the pads together. I can merge tracks together. I can copy pads, explode the track out. This is really cool when you want to make stems. And I can also edit pad note map. Now we'll cover more of this when we start doing our track video, this track only. But I want you to understand there's so much you can do in this MPC. It's kind of really super cool. Now, of course, if I want to duplicate this, I can tap this here. Oop, duplicated. There it is, 2 now. I go up to here. Well, remove the guitar up. That's 2. I want to undo that. Press undo. Now we're back here to 1. So I can duplicate a track. Now, of course, here we see pad and we see the track, right? And so that's the pad icon next to the track. The track icon currently is highlighted. I'm going to cover something else here. We have the length of the sequence. What's the length? I go to here, tap that. That's our length, of course, as I press play start. We don't see nothing happening, right? So all this does is tell you the length of the sequence. I can push the button in, and we have sequence, we have track, and then we have the guitar of the track, right? Let's go back to here. These are the tracks here. Submixes, returns, and outputs. Hit the window again. Get the idea what's there, right? So I can change that parameter. Here's auto monitor. I'll click this on. I can auto monitor something. I may have something playing here. I may have a track open and playing. I can auto monitor what's going on. Here I can just in. That means I may have something coming in. I may have a part I want to play, and I'm in this track, and I'm playing this part back. See, everything's off here. I'm only going to hear what I can tap. Right? I'm only hearing that. If I go here to monitor, and I go to off, go back to in, auto, if I go to off, and I go back to merge, I can merge what I have there with something else I place into the track. I'll cover more of this when I actually record something, let's say vocals or something, into the machine. and you'll see it more efficiently, where I can actually hear the vocal back, then I want to hear what the person's singing back, and I actually want to probably merge them together or put them on a different track. I want to see how it works. Or I'm playing guitar, and I may be in there playing guitar on something, and then, okay, there's a guitar already there. I want to hear that guitar first, practice, and then, boom, go right in at the same spot. Works great for recording. And that's how that works. I'll go back here to auto. That's working that. We have layers, of course. Samples have layers. So I tap here on the screen. Open up, dog. So we'll go back to here. Where we at? There we go. We opened up now. Sometimes you got to tap many times. As you can see here, we're looking at the sample editor section. I can edit this sample. There are a lot of parameters here. I'm going to do a ridiculous video on sampling because it may take at least 15 minutes to explain all this and work and show you tricks, all kinds of stuff you can do with samples inside your MPC, which is obvious. It's an MPC, but there's a lot to do. It's a lot of fun. And what I showed you was layers. We can have a lot of layers for just one sound. Awesome. Let's go back to here and I confuse you. Boom. And we tap that screen and we're in there. Of course, we see our layers. So I can select any layer I've got. Oh, nothing's there. I got no layers in here. I just got this one sound here. But you can see that I can change the layers. Now, one thing's very cool too. If I go to here on this side, you will see we have other parts here within the sections, of course. Here's our trap kit. This is the output. So if I tap a pad, oop, that was saving. You see that's going right to the output, which is 1 and 2, right? And so this is the trap kit. I can add effects to the trap kit. Whoa, there are effects already on this kit already, right? You see these effects right here. Here's a tube thing. I'll hold this down here. It's on now. Whoa, look at that. I can hold it down again, and it's off. I can turn these parameters off and on that are in the effects. We have sends. I can send sound someplace else. I want to send it to like a return somewhere. I can take this sound right there. I want to send it somewhere. Okay, let's do that. I'll turn my data wheel. As you see there, we're sending the output of this one sound through send number 1 into a return somewhere. You see his return number 1 right there, right? And what effect is here? No effect there. See this. We have this reverb here, right? So that's the reverb going. Let's make it louder. That's the reverb. Let's turn the send back down again. All the way down. So you see I threw the sound into the reverb. The reverb is in the return 1. It's in the first slot. I have 4 possible slots for actually adding an effect, and that goes into that return. This is a great way when you're actually mixing or creating a sound, is to be able to take that sound, send it someplace, but you need to know how your effects work when you're using them. And this is send to a return. If I come here and tap that button again, come on, cut off. Oh, yeah, and we're off with it. We don't see the return anymore, right? So if I do start doing something, I will see it. That gives you an idea of how you're doing stuff here. So obviously, as you see it here, that's that. Now watch this. I'm going to come over here and select the pad now. Now we're in the pad view. So now I see one pad. This is so cool. I got to pick a pad. Let's take that snare drum right there, pad number 6. I can hit the pad. You'll see the name of the pad come up, right? I would prefer to see actually the name of the sound, but one day, you never know. That's pad number 6 there. It's a snare drum. I come to here. I got send, and it sends that reverb. Louder. Okay, turn this down too as well. And so it sends that reverb. I can also come to here, and I have effects on this sound. Right? I can come to here and say add an effect. I go here back to here. I want to add a pro delay. Add the pro delay. Select it. It's in there. Cool. I turn that off. Oh, look at that. That's pretty cool parameter. Come to here. It's gone. Right? So you can do so much from the main window. This is so cool. I love it. Now also here, I want to show you one more thing here. These are our shortcuts, okay? I want to go to the browser. I'm right there. Press main again. I want to go to here. That's my track view. How many tracks I got here? Those sounds will play here. That's pretty cool. Let's go back to main. I come to here. This is my pad mixer. I can play the beats. Of course, it's faders. We have panning. We have sends. We have effects. Apply your effects. Know where your effects are. How many effects did I use in this sequence? Well, check that out. My I/O, in and out. Settings. Filter by events. Filter by samples. All right. Automation. Write automation when recording. Press that OK. So there's so much you can do right here from the main window. I get there. That's why I press my main screen again. I'm back. That's a shortcut I prefer to have. And here's one called the FXY, right? So this is pretty simple stuff. I can go here to menu. I can change that anytime I want to change it. I sometimes just want to have the sampler. I'll grab my sampler here and I'll put it right here. It's changed. Wow, that's kind of cool. Go back to main screen, and here we are again. The sampler's right there. I want to sample something in. Suppose I get to a track. I go to a brand new track. There's no track. I'll make a brand new track. Let's make a brand new track. New track. Let's make it a key group. I want to sample something in here. I'm going to close this out. See this here? Record. I can sample into there real quick. That was also, again, the save button doing that. That might confuse you once in a while, but it does happen while you're doing the event. And so, I'm doing this thing here. I can sample something in, and I can go back to main screen. That sample would appear right there. And I can come to here, and I can do the sampling from there as well. So you see that? I can access that as sample easier from there. I can say I want to sample something into here. I go to here, I sample it, then I'll place it right there in that particular section there in the key group right here. It'll appear in this key group right here. So you can change your shortcuts as well. Now this is how we can work everything here in our main screen. This is the most important screen for you to remember and to know, because you can do everything from right here. You don't have to go anywhere else, because you can get there by having these shortcuts. Like, for example, put your shortcuts in, and you can get to other parts. And when you want to save, it's simple. I go to here. I want to save, go to here. I press that. I'm saving my project again. That's how we use our main screen.